Sibanye owns and operates Driefontein, Kloof and Beatrix, which are all on the western extent of the Wits gold basin.
Exactly, and those are all gold mines, in case you weren't paying attention. It's expanded, though, into the platinum sector on account of having bought Aquarius and having bought those Union mines that I mentioned earlier, which are some of the old clapped-out parts of the Anglo-Platinum operations in the Rustenburg area.
Market cap, 34.6 billion rand, a PE of just over 21 and a dividend yield here of 4.7%. And Neil Froneman looks like the king of turnarounds of these general mines that people have given up on. Sibanye has come under pressure since its highs. Chris?
Yeah, Bronwyn, you're quite right. I think Neil Froneman has confounded all the skeptics out there, on the gold side particularly. And now what he wants to do with platinum, what he's done with gold. Look, they're basically scavengers. They're going after these clapped-out old mines, as Paul so eloquently puts it, and they're doing something with them. They have the ability, they're nimble, they're relatively small. They're not these huge monoliths that some of the others are, and therefore they're able, I think, to put much more time and effort into these things. So I think, although it's
so we're talking about nimble scavengers. You're making a lot of friends today.
Yeah. No, look, I don't mean it in any pejorative sense.
No, I'm just here to push your buttons.
But think about it. So somebody spends tens of billions of rands developing shaft infrastructure to mine a particular area, and they want that asset to last for decades. Then suddenly the platinum price doesn't do well, labor's difficult, everyone's getting killed. What do? They sell it to someone who says, I don't care about your decades, I'm going to mine this thing like it's only got 2.5 years left. Now that's interesting, because then the person that sells the asset has to take that capital right off, but the buyer, which in this case is Sibanye, doesn't care because they got it at such a discounted price that they can pick the eyes out of it and exit that stope area and generate quite strong cash flows. So that's
Given
what they
that
did
the
on
share
the gold and
price
the
has
platinum
come
side.
off to this extent, is this a buying opportunity?
It's hard to say. I can't quite figure out why it's come off like that, because the gold production at Kloof, Driefontein and the rest of them have actually been quite good. The transaction, I think, in hindsight, wasn't a bad deal. I think maybe just people got a little bit ahead of themselves. You can see by the normal metrics with a positive PE and a dividend yield, this company's operating the way you'd want them to.
Chris, any further insight into the pressure on share price there?
No, look, not on the share price, Bronwyn, I must admit. I just feel that this one, I think it's reflecting the exceptional management ability of Neil Froneman and his team.
After the break, yes?
Well, look, the recent trading update indicated gold production compared to the prior quarter was about the same. The platinum production is vastly higher because they didn't own the asset a year ago. Yeah. So what you're seeing now is news flow related to results, which makes it look as though it's really thriving. But to some extent, it's not comparing apples with apples.
I was so anxious to get out of the conversation, I forgot to even ask you whether it was hot or not.
I am also going to give them the benefit of the doubt and a thumbs up and say hot on this one.
Chris?
Yep, also hot.